Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hacking the FMP. Today, we are going to cover what the FMP entails and how to hack it and earn your credential. Joining me today are our usual suspects, Kim Jackson and Starlin Berlanga. We're also going to have a guest appearance from somebody that you may know who works on our team as well, and we'll introduce her in just a few. Don't forget to like us, share us out, make sure that we can reach other FMs so that we can help them understand the FMP and hack it themselves.
And just a little bit of background about IFMA. If you're not familiar with us, we are the International Facility Management Association. We have been in the industry for over 40 years in over 130 countries with over 24,000 members. Uh-oh. Um, we are here today to discuss how we lead the future of the built environment to make the world a better place. And in doing that, we advance our collective knowledge, value, and growth for FM professionals such as yourselves to perform at the highest levels. So, in one way that we do that is through our training. And today we're going to be covering one of our most popular credentials, the Facility Management Professional, or the FMP.
So, we want to jump in and talk about what the FMP is and what we can expect for you to understand and take away from just the background of the credential. As Starlin mentioned, it is the Facility Management Professional.
Hold on just a second, Gail. Daniela, can we go to the next slide, please? We may have a little bit of a technical issue here. Go ahead, Gail. Let's talk about that FMP.
So the FMP is comprised of 4 courses. And once you have been enrolled, you will have 2 years of access to the training. We're going to talk about who the FMP should, or I'm sorry, who should take the FMP. And we feel that every facility manager should, because this is going to be that foundational credential. So it's going to cover 4 competencies that every FM should be familiar with: finance and business, project management, leadership and strategy, and operations and maintenance. We ask that you have at least 1 year of experience in FM so that these courses, when you're going through the course material, it makes a little bit more sense because you may have been exposed to it. And I do want to reference that these 4 courses are going to be geared towards the facility manager. So, not just finance and business as a topic, just in general, it's going to be geared more towards facility management. And that last question, who needs the FMP? Every facility manager.
That's absolutely correct, Gail. And the only thing that I would add is we do recommend having at least a year of experience in FM before jumping into the FMP, just so that you have a little bit of experience and have dipped your toes in the water before you dive into some of these courses. So the next thing we're going to be discussing is why. Why take the FMP? What does it do for you once you achieve the credential? So it helps you stand out from the rest of the group. You're going to be developing new skills to solve on the job challenges. And the best thing about the FMP is you can start applying the training that you're receiving on a daily basis in your day to day job. So you're going to be learning about best practices. The thing that we like to say is it's not teaching you what to think. It's not going to have all the answers, but it's going to be teaching you how to think and giving you important strategies to be able to use as you are working through things on your job, which in turn will help you gain confidence in your role and help you contribute more to the organization overall.
So again, how to hack the FMP. It's 4 courses, 4 final assessments, and you earn that lifelong credential. So once you're enrolled, you will start with whichever course you want to start with, go through the course materials, and then you're going to complete the reading material, and then you're going to attempt that final assessment. You will have 3 opportunities to take it. If you don't pass it on that third opportunity, that's okay. The ability to take that final assessment will be closed for 30 days. And we do that because we want to encourage you to go back through the reading material, ensure that you really and truly understand those concepts, and then come back and take that final assessment. Once you've completed and passed it, rinse and repeat, right? So you're just going to pick up that next course, go through the same steps. Once that fourth final assessment has been passed, this is where you are eligible to Send your application in for the FMP. Somebody from our credentials team will review it, and then boom, you're an FMP holder.
So, Gail, I want to add hacking the FMP, anytime you hack something, it's basically breaking it down. It doesn't necessarily mean this is a shortcut. It just means we've got some steps that are going to help you to be successful, but it's not hacking it to where you're going to take that final assessment 50 times. And so that's why Gail said, look, after the third try, you will not be able to try again for 30 days. The idea here is you're learning. This is a training program, and there's a lot of content in each one of those 4 courses. So we encourage you to go in and truly read and comprehend this material because that's going to give you that solid foundation.
All right, so step one, getting started. And the most important piece of this is to actually getting set up. You're going to receive a welcome email from our training team letting you know, hey, you've been enrolled, congratulations. So it's very important when you go to log in to create your account that you're utilizing the email that you received that email to, because it can cause some issues if you use a different email and it won't show you your courses correctly. So we strongly encourage you to please make sure you use the same email you receive that email to, and then make sure you're seeing everything on your dashboard. If you don't, we do have a little question mark at the top right of fm.training that allows you to open a help desk ticket. Be sure and submit it. And we have a whole support team dedicated to making sure that you can get any issue that you have resolved as quickly as possible. So step one is definitely just making sure you see everything looks good, and you're ready to get started from there.
Yes, don't wait a year before you try to access your course. As soon as you receive that welcome email from IFMA, go in, verify everything's there, click on things, make sure that you're accessing it. You'd be surprised at the number of calls that we get months after somebody has been enrolled. Well, I can't access it. We really want you to get in there right away and so that we can help you make sure that you're accessing it. So this is step one. Just get started.
Step 2, let's figure out a plan. Let's ensure that you study at the same time. Maybe it's every day, maybe it's every week, but having that dedicated study time will help you on this journey. We all know you are busy every day, and you might get a project that is kind of maybe dumped on your plate, or maybe you just know that in 6 months there's going to be another plan that's happening or another project that's happening. Having that study place in Having that study plan in place is going to truly help you get through that course material. We do have a sample study schedule that can help you earn your FMP in as little as 4 months, 8 months, or 12 months. On the next slide is going to be a QR code where you can scan that and download that for yourself. And this is, again, is a great way to really just help you understand what it looks like to have that study plan in place, have that goal. Even if you start small with having, let me just get through operations and maintenance. That's a goal. And then just set that same goal up for each of the remaining courses. Next thing you know, you're going to be completed and submitting your application. So feel free to take a picture of this or scan this so that you
Mhm.
can get that downloaded.
And if you think of 4 months, that's about the average semester, whether it's, in high school or college program, and this is a great way to look at it. Every week, have a sufficient period of time to go in, read the material. 30 minutes isn't going to be enough. Adult learners, we need a minute to get all of the other noise out of our head, get into that rhythm of reading, and then allow your brain to comprehend. So, scan this. Again, 4 months is doable, absolutely, but there's 8 months and 12-month options as well. And we give you a good starting point to help you estimate what does that really mean in a busy life. Next slide, please.
All right. And so much like we are trying to set you guys up to be successful, not only with these study guides, but we also have several online resources available to you to be able to get through the material. We have flashcards, study guides, case scenarios, and then we even have optional printed materials. We understand that some people like to highlight, make notes, things of that nature. And if that is something that will help you along the way, you can purchase the printed materials whenever you sign up for the FMP, or if you've already purchased your FMP and it's something that you're like, yeah, no, I need to be able to write my notes. You can always reach out to us at corporateconnections@ifma.org, and we'll be able to get you set up with the printed materials.
All right, you're logged in, you've got a plan in place, you're still struggling to figure out how do I make this work? Connect with the community. We have for IFMA members, we have our networking groups, so chapters, networking groups. Somebody in your area, in your group, is going to have already earned their FMP. They also might be on the same journey as you in earning their FMP right now. Reach out, see who's available, let them help you with your questions. Maybe it's just, how do you find time? Or maybe it's, wow, in project management, I didn't understand this concept. They're there, use them as your resources. There's also for members our Engage platform. The FMP does have its own page. Again, FMP holders, people who are going through, even people who are unsure if this is what they need or what they want to do, they're all accessing this page because they want to make sure that when they invest in this training, they're not only investing in themselves, but they're, again, setting that goal to complete it and be that go-to person for their company. And earning their FMP is going to be the best way to do that. You'll also see if somebody in your organization is going through the FMP with you, create that study group with your coworkers. You haven't always worked at the same company for your whole adult life. You might have worked at a previous job that helps you connect that concept. And maybe you're the person that helps that other person have that aha moment of, oh my goodness, I never saw it, breaking down that way. That's a great way to look at it. So I think having that community around you will definitely help you have that, take that weight off your shoulders to be able to say, okay, I've got this. And maybe you're the cheerleader for the person next to you to say, hey, you got this. So there's always going to be a community out there that can help you get through the material.
That's a great point, Gail. Definitely having somebody to help keep you accountable is something that is very important to being successful sometimes. And we understand that as well. And sometimes you may not have resources right there next to you. So we also have virtual FMP classes available where these are instructor led. You will have an instructor walking you through the material in the courses. They are weekly 90-minute sessions, typically held at 11 a.m. Central Time. So definitely plan on that if you're in a different time zone. But this is something that we have created here at IFMA to help also allow you to connect, to network. There are other FMs that will be in the class with you and that you'll be able to connect with. And our instructors are really amazing, IFMA qualified instructors that have been in the industry for a lot of years, have wonderful experience and knowledge to impart on top of all of the information that they deliver through our courses. And I will say every instructor I've come into contact with has been super helpful and encouraged students to reach out if they have questions. So definitely, if you are finding yourself in a position where you would like a little bit more support, you don't necessarily know who to reach out to, maybe within your own organization, these are a fantastic choice to be able to stay accountable, get through the material in a quick process, and get your FMP.
Yeah, and I do want to highlight these are not recorded, because if you can access a recording, how is that going to keep you accountable? It's very easy to push that off. Knowing that it is a live session once a week will help you make that a priority. And it's just a little bit longer than a lunch. So you can have your lunch right there and meet with that instructor. The instructors are incredibly helpful. You can always email them questions in advance, but this is where you do have homework that you need to do. You are asked to read the chapter before this 90-minute session. because that lets you know where you may be stuck, where you really need to pay attention to that instructor or ask additional questions because it just maybe didn't make sense to you. Some of the material is pretty thorough, and trying to find a nice way to say that getting this broken down by a live instructor and tied to real world examples can really help you comprehend it and be successful on that final assessment.
So now that you've completed it, let's celebrate. Whenever you do earn your FMP, you will receive a digital badge. You will also receive a digital certificate. Again, this is a lifelong credential. You'll also be listed in our registry that shows that you have completed the training, you've completed the final assessments, and you are an FMP. So we ask that you put this on your signature line, put it on your social media, just share with the world that you've been through the training and you're ready to tackle any project that comes to you.
That's right. And that digital
Right.
badge
And
is go ahead.
go ahead. I just noted the submit your application, and I had actually seen a question come through asking about the application and how to submit it. Once you go through the courses and complete each final assessment successfully, there will be a button that lights up and turns green at the bottom that says submit your application, and it will take you to another site where you fill out your information and submit it over to our credential team for review. Once they confirm everything has gone through properly, you've completed everything and everything looks great, then you will receive your FMP credential. So I just wanted to answer that question while we had the opportunity on this slide.
Understood. And your digital badge, when everything is complete, this is something that you can opt in for. That is that online digital verification. It will also, with that link, show what you've achieved, the different topics. So if you have colleagues at your company, maybe they don't really understand what an FM does. I know a lot of FMs, there's not always a large team of you guys at your particular facility, so they can click on the link in your signature line and see the different areas that the FMP covers and what it is, and really help explain and give you that credibility and that authority, to show that you know what you're talking about. Next slide, please.
Now we want to bring Jessica McBride on so that we can talk about some tips that we can offer, again, to help you succeed in earning your FMP.
Welcome, Jessica. I think you're muted on your side.
Of course I would be. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Jessica McBride. I am the training support specialist here at IFMA. My job all day, every day is to support you, support the learners, to make sure y'all have what you need to be successful. So we put together some tips. They are building on what we've already talked about, but I just wanted to kind of break that down with y'all. Again, that first step is putting it on your calendar. I talk to a lot of our students every single day, and I tell them to pick a day. My favorite day to do this is on Thursdays. We're nearing the end of the week. We can wrap up our homework on this day. This means that you're setting the goal for yourself after you pick your day to read one chapter a week and take one quiz a week. Your quiz day will be on that Thursday or whatever day you pick. If you stick by this schedule, you can finish a course in about 5.5 weeks. So it really helps you keep on track. As Kim was saying, these courses, they're dense material. People sign up and think, okay, I'm going to fly through this, but we really want to make sure that you know what you're talking about whenever you get through this. So I compare it to a college course, and I tell my students, we need to put our student hats on, and we are really getting back into the mode of thinking about this as taking a night course as you're at your community college. You know you're going to have homework. You know you're going to have responsibilities. So dedicate that time to yourself. Put it in your self-care box, and really just knock it out. We do offer the virtual classes. I am a huge advocate for these. I have seen success with our adult learners being able to have accountability and structure. These classes are held once a week, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure that you are accounting for this with your time zones. I sit in on these first classes and last classes, so I have seen how amazing these instructors are and how well the classes go. It really helps you move through these courses in a timely fashion. You have 2 years of content access, but we really encourage our students to get this done within that first year, and this schedule helps you get done way before that. So that is our tip number 1. And then we have tip number 2. When we get on that Thursday, I'm picking Thursday for you. When you get on that Thursday and you're taking your quiz, please do not forget that our quizzes and our final assessments are open note, open book. Use your resources. Consider purchasing the hard copy books. Some students are perfectly fine with using the PDFs online, and that's great. You can download those to your computers. I am more old school. I really like to highlight and tab in my books. I like having those hard copies with me to throw in my car to read on my lunch breaks. It really just is nice to have those handy. So use your books. Also note with those hard copy books and being able to read everywhere, make sure when you're studying during the day, you do so earlier in the day. It is really hard once we have wrapped up our daily lives and we're going to bed with tired eyes and tired brains to say, I'll get to this tomorrow. I'll do this tomorrow, or to read that chapter and then not remember anything. So try to put that in there earlier in the day and you'll be successful.
I wanted to add before we move to the next tip, the open book. So that would be to download the PDF. A lot of people read through with the flip book, and that's perfectly fine if you want a little bit more interactive reading. Perfect. But if you're going to have this open while you take your final assessment, download the PDF so that you have the ability to do both. And if you're in your car or at a band practice and you're just waiting for your kid to get done, the downloadable PDF, you can look at your phone, on your tablet, whatever your reading source is, you can do that there also, just in case you don't want to buy the books. Continue.
So tip number 3. If we're struggling, make sure we're looking in the mirror, right? Are we standing in our own way? Are we not putting enough time out in our schedule? Is the holidays coming up and our calendars are getting crammed with holiday parties and family visits? Make sure that you are taking care of yourself, not doubting yourself. You are your biggest cheerleader. But spoiler alert, I am your cheerleader also. So just make sure that you have a positive mind going into this and you have backup plans. I would say it is surprising, but it's not, how many people email and call me with, oh my goodness, I've wrapped up my 2 years and I'm out of time. As adult learners, we all have families. We all have full-time jobs. We all have responsibilities. It is so easy for these courses to sometimes get put on that back burner. And then we're really close to the end date and people start to panic. In our study guide or our study guides, there is that 4-month plan. So you can get that done in that amount of time. You're having to move through it quicker. So just be sure, again, not to let that procrastination bug bite you. And you're just really making sure that you are setting yourself up for success.
Also, waiting until the end of the time frame that you have. If you, for whatever reason, can't pass that final assessment on those first 3 attempts and you need that additional 30 days, you might be in a position where now you're reading material for the second course and having to read material for the course that you need to retake that final assessment with. So that might cram up your 30 days. Having that extra time will help you avoid that.
Mm-hmm. And our tip number 4 is do not be afraid to ask for help. Again, my job all day, every day is to cheer you on and to make sure we cross that finish line. When people email me or call me, I am sure they think I'm crazy because I am cheering for them and I am so excited and I just want to celebrate with you. So my email will be in the chat. Reach out. I have a direct line. You can always call me. And just let me know. Don't wait too long and get yourself behind. I am here to support you. So help me help you.
So I will say before we move on, Larry Morgan has joined us. He is one of our IFMA-qualified instructors, and by he's joined us, I mean he is watching the program and he's chatting some wonderful statements. And another successful tip for test taking: follow your circadian rhythm and eliminate all distractions. Make sure your phones are off, everything. If there are folks in your facility or your home, maybe put a sign on the door and say, I'm taking a test, or, please do not knock on the door. Circadian rhythm, I'm going to assume, Larry, that is make sure you've had a good night's sleep. If it's super late, wherever you're I think most active brain waves are happening, that you're setting yourself up for success. Don't do this when, if you have a young child and you're up all night, don't think, oh, I'm going to take the test that next day. I would not recommend. 10 out of 10 do not recommend that. Thank you, Larry.
All right, perfect. Well, that sets us up to recap everything that we've gone over. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us today. I absolutely love your tips. They definitely help everybody kind of get set up, because you're in this every day, as you said, getting contacted by different people going through this right now. And if you're thinking about doing the FMP, definitely we are all here to help support. But please consider all of the hacks that we have set out today. It's definitely here to just help you get set up for success. So I'm just going to briefly review them real quick. Number one, get set up. Be sure and use the email that you have been emailed to for your courses to get logged in. Make sure everything's showing up on your dashboard. Number two, plan, study, pass. Take a look at the study guide that we've offered today. See if those different timelines work best with your schedule, and go ahead and start setting meetings on your calendar. One tip that I really like sharing is to literally put a meeting on your calendar, because we all get set up with meetings all day long, and it really sets aside time for you to be able to get your stuff done and be successful. Number three, use your online resources. We have those flip books and flashcards available for you. And of course, if you need additional resources such as virtual courses or printed books, please reach out to us and we will get you set up. Number four, connect with the community. Gail put this wonderfully. Get some peers together. If you're going through the FMP with someone, jump on a call with them and go through the material together, or connect with your IFMA chapter. A lot of other FMs are going through this at the same time as you and can help, or have gone through it before. It can help provide some tips and tricks that they might have come up with. And then number five, consider a virtual FMP class. Our instructors are here to help and are wonderful advocates for you and to help you through all the FMP things that you may have challenges with. And then last but not least, enjoy your success as a newly designated FMP. We are here to cheer you on, but once you become an FMP, you're going to fill any knowledge gaps that you may have there and definitely set the foundation for success in the facility management industry.
I want to share, Starlin, that the FMP is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. So you have a lot of other FMPs. I am willing to bet we're going to hit 20,000 FMPs. We're well over 18,000 at this point. The longevity of the credential, the credibility, the globally recognized credibility of it, it is definitely something that is going to be a credit to you and the time that you've put into it. It is, you will earn this. It is not something that you can sleepwalk through the material and pass the test, or just go straight to the test and think that you've got that magical formula. So really hacking this is put the work in, make that schedule, invest in yourself, because this will pay off in a number of ways. I've been with IFMA for over 21 years, and I have seen what a difference credentials make for individuals, and then the profession overall really gains you the respect of your other colleagues who maybe aren't really sure what you do every day, but they just know when they come in. The building is it's a healthy place to be. It's safe, it's functioning, and that is due to our FMs.
I know we had some questions about the FMP versus the CFM, and I know this can be a little confusing. So we wanted to just quickly cover a couple of those differences at a glance. So for who should take the FMP versus the CFM, the FMP, anyone should take it, everyone. Every FM should become an FMP. To be a CFM, applicants must meet eligibility requirements in order to sit for the CFM exam. So what are the differences? The FMP builds your knowledge and skills because we provide you the information that you're going to be tested on, where the CFM differs because it's actually the test that tests your knowledge and skills that you have in FM. How to become an FMP? Again, you go through the reading material, do all the coursework, take your final assessment. The CFM, you're actually verifying that knowledge in those 11 core competencies of facility management to show that you do have and meet those requirements to sit for this exam. Where? The FMP final assessments can be taken online at any time that you're ready to take them. The CFM is actually a proctored exam that you must schedule at a Prometric testing center. There's a couple of extra steps in between all of that that must be met in order to be ready to schedule that. So if you have questions, again, corporateconnections@ifma.org, somebody from our team will definitely be able to have that conversation with you, help guide you in whichever direction you feel is going to be the best for you. And then we have that lifelong credential, yes, no. So the FMP, as we covered earlier, is lifelong. Once it's earned, it's yours. For the CFM, it is a certification that recertifies every 3 years. Again, if you have questions on what that process looks like, send us an email and we'll make sure to get that answered for you. Oh, you're muted.
Of course I am. Jessica, I didn't want you to feel alone.
Well, thank you.
So before we go on to the next slide, I do want to share a question from William. This is the application process and wanting to know, is this to make sure that IFMA has our information, or are there any other requirements other than passing the courses? So the application process is included here because it is a step required. We are an accredited organization, which means we have a third party organization called ANAB that reviews everything that we're doing and ensures that we are abiding by all of the steps and everything that we have outlined in the learning objectives. It protects your investment in IFMA's credentials because they are making sure that IFMA is following these guidelines. Part of that is once you have achieved and passed all of those final assessments, this is your formal request to be granted your credential. It is, we've already got all of your information because we need to be able to make sure that you are you. And this helps us to differentiate who you are from other folks. And it is something that is kept in the registry so that if you have other future employers or your current employer and they would like to verify that, yes, you met all of the requirements and earned the credential, that it is you, and we assign you a license number. It is necessary. There are individuals out there who will claim that they have a credential and they have not earned it. So that application is a step toward IFMA being able to grant you that credential. And I want to share with everybody, IFMA is the only credentialing body for the FMP, the SFP, and the CFM. No other organization can grant that for you. There's a reason why I'm saying it. Buyer beware. There are organizations out there that are advertising on their websites that they're able to either help you get your FMP, your SFP, or your CFM, and or have information on it. If you have any doubts on this, please call us or visit our website. We let you know who, which training affiliates are actually officially with IFMA and that are training IFMA's programs, and which one, well, we don't go who isn't because we're only worried with those who do. But again, please be Be fully informed before you purchase training from anyone. And if you are looking for an IFMA credential or other training programs, please come to IFMA and we'll be happy to answer your questions on that.
Thank you so much for that, Kim. That definitely, it's something that has come before us before, and we definitely want to make sure that you guys are receiving proper quality training from IFMA. So we wanted to dive into some audience questions that we received. We put out a poll to see what kind of questions you guys may have. Our first question is, what kind of leverage can the FMP give a person during interviewing for jobs, obviously? I just want to kind of touch on some of the things, and guys, feel free to jump in with additional thoughts here. But just first of all, the FMP is a solid something that you can put on your resume that shows that you have been through the courses. Not to discount on the job training or the experience that you have, but this is something that shows that you have been through the courses and you have filled any knowledge gaps that could possibly be there. And you have a certificate that says, I completed all of these 4 courses that show my experience. And as Kim mentioned, we are accredited, so that this is something that can be verifiable. A lot of times people become FMs through attrition and they just start taking over different things. And this is really meant to fill any knowledge gaps and give you a very strong foundation. So it definitely helps you leverage your knowledge and really show something physical in the form of, the certificate and the badge that you have completed this.
We also hear that employers are either requesting that FMs they're hiring have their FMP credential, or some of them are even requiring that they have their FMP credential. And again, that just helps them make sure that the people they have in place are making those data-driven decisions. So audience question number 2, how can IFMA help FMs become part of the C-suite versus a sub-function reporting to accountants? I know, Starlin, you had a really great example of how you had seen this by talking to a customer. Did you want to share that?
Absolutely. So here at IFMA, we have training for everyone who's just starting in FM all the way up to the CFM or the certification. And here at IFMA, we really encourage people to go along. We have steps up to getting to this CFM to really build upon the training that we have available. So if you're an FM and you're looking to become part of that C-suite, getting your FMP was going to be the first step, and then moving towards the CFM, filling any knowledge gaps, and really just being able to exhibit to the C-suite, I deserve a spot at this table. This is something that I have completed training on. I can show you my certificates. I can, you can back up what you're saying, even though you may already have a lot of that knowledge and you are a great advisor in your role, having something to back it up. A lot of times, Gail mentioned data-driven decisions. Most of the C-suite wants to see data. They want to see something concrete that they can say, okay, I can trust what you're saying. And I think that IFMA credentials really help you leverage that to be able to become a part of those conversations.
I would add to that, Starlin, some of the conversations that I've had with others, for example, in academic facilities, the FM may be sitting around a table with others who have their masters or even doctorates, and having a professional credential, while in a perfect world, you wouldn't have to have something, letters after your name, it does impart your the validity of your knowledge, and it is an external validation that you have formalized training and that you do know what you're talking about. And a lot of times it gives that extra bit of respect for your opinion. And sometimes though, let's be real, we're all human, and it may give you that confidence to be able to speak up when you're at that table and say, I see an issue here, and this is what I see in my experience, in my expertise. And that's what a professional credential can do to help you really be able to communicate and articulate what your advice would be and to have your colleagues listen to it. It is not necessary, but I will say in the real world, it does help. It will play a role in people listening to what you have to say.
All right, and question 3, given the rapid advancements in technology and the increasing importance of sustainability and facility management, how does the FMP program integrate these aspects into its curriculum? So we've gone over in pretty great detail today what the FMP covers, and there are a lot of advancements in technology and sustainability, and IFMA recognizes that. So we have actually created completely separate training programs that focus solely on these things, such as we have a sustainability course as well as a sustainability credential. And we also have multiple different technology courses. One actually just released, the cybersecurity course. So we definitely encourage you to continue learning and to continue your learning journey with IFMA. Don't just stop at the FMP. We want you to continue to evolve and grow your knowledge. And we have done that by providing some additional resources. So today we are definitely obviously focusing on the FMP, but we also just wanted you to be aware that there are other things available if you've already gotten your FMP or if you're looking to just continue to grow and evolve once you have received it.
And to add on to that, Starlin, the FMP, there's a reason why we call it, it's the foundational credential. It builds a really strong foundation. And the courses that Starlin mentioned, especially the sustainability facility professional, the SFP credential, it picks up where this leaves off. So in order to really continue to learn, continue to grasp the sustainability challenges that you're facing and how to get that facility where it needs to be in terms of a net zero goal that may have been set by the C suite. You've got to have a solid foundation to continue to learn and grow your knowledge. And the 4 areas covered by this FMP, it integrates very well because it will teach you project management for facilities. So you'll learn the typical projects that you're going to be doing as you're operating and maintaining your facility, leadership and strategy, the technology advancements, going into a smart building that you're going to be putting in data sensors and all of these different controls, and you'll want to make sure that you can get buy-in from, first of all, the cost of it, so finance and business really comes into play, and then also other departments working with your finance department, with HR, to make sure that there's not anything that any toes you may be stepping on, all of these things. But if you don't have a strong foundation, then the additional learning may not really integrate well with your experience and your expertise. So when I read this question, that's really what I went to. It integrates because it builds that foundation that you then continue to build on through additional years of being an FM and additional courses that you can take.
And lastly, once you're registered online, is there an expiry date to complete the course? I think all of us have touched on this throughout the presentation. The FMP does allow you 2 full years of access once you have been enrolled. Don't wait. So once you get enrolled, once you are ready to get started, just jump in with both feet and get started.
And for those of you watching, every course that you sign up for at IFMA has an expiration date. And I would wager that's probably true with just about any training organization. The expectation is when you purchase it and you get enrolled, you're going to get started on it. But there does have to be an end date where that access to that course is no longer there. It does differ depending on which program you're in. However, as soon as you come in, remember step 1 was to go ahead and set up your training, log in, make sure you can access the materials. It will show you that expiration date there. But sometimes we do have folks, and I won't name any names, but it's 4 years after they've purchased the FMP, and they're like, "But I didn't know that it expired." And well, it expired 2 years ago, and they're just now coming in seeing that it expired. So, while it might I mean, it just doesn't even make sense to me that it would be available all the time. There's updates and, at some point, you should have completed it. So That's where I stand on expiration dates. They're there, and it is your responsibility as the learner to make sure that you are completing this in a timely manner. But we have a very strong advocate waiting to help you, and that is Jessica McBride. She is just an amazing addition and is there to answer questions, help you gain access. And for those of you who may be close to expiring, she'll be able to give you some tips and tricks and help you get through this program and give you the options because we don't want to lose you. We want you to be successful.
So
All
with
right,
all of
we are.
that said, oh,
You're fine, Gail. I was just about to wrap up too. I bet everyone, if you don't already know, we do typically give out some codes towards the end for some special savings. So stay tuned; those are coming up. But first, we wanted to discuss. I mean, we just wrapped up the FMP in a nutshell. And if you're still not sure, is this right for me? Is it not? I'm not sure where to start. Please take a look at our career compass. It's a very short 2-minute quiz that you answer a few questions and it will give you an answer as to what the best starting point would be. And then once you complete that, one of our representatives will typically reach out within a day or two and say, hey, we saw that you completed it. We're going to help you get started. And if you feel like you have some more questions, please take advantage of reaching out to us at corporateconnections@ifma.org. We are happy to help answer any questions that you guys may have. And there it is there at the bottom of this screen. Please feel free to reach out to us. We are happy to help.
and as Sarlin mentioned, we do want to thank you for joining today. So we did want to provide some codes that would provide discounts to your training. For those of you who are looking for any of our additional training, the core competencies or the essentials of FM, use your career 50 as your discount code to take $50 off that training. For those signing up for the FMP bundle, the SFP program, or the core competency course bundle, please use your career 100 to receive a $100 discount on that training as well. And these codes will be valid through April 7th. You'll also notice our GSA schedule listed there at the bottom. For those of you who are federal employees and meet the eligibility requirements of receiving GSA pricing, please take advantage of that as well because we do have that available.
And I'll say if you're not on the GSA schedule, which is for federal agencies, if you are state or local municipality, reach out to us at the email address that was just on the bottom of the screen because we can offer you price savings as well. Just you would not be able to do that from the course catalog because that is for the federal General Services Administration, the GSA schedule, but we want to make sure that we take care of our other government type FMs. So just send us an email and we'd be happy to talk with you.
Okay, and just to wrap up, there is here's a little bit of a comment from one of our FMPs just talking about the value of the FMP and just attests to the value of it. The courses cover a broad range of topics, including leadership, project management, sustainability, and technical skills, and really help provide a deeper understanding of the latest industry trends and best practices. So this is definitely highly recommended by FMs. I actually saw another comment. I don't know, Danielle or Kim, if y'all can pop it on the screen from Larry. He's had his FMP for 15 years and finds value in it. And he also has our other credentials, the SFP and the CFM, and still is like, yes, that FMP is valuable. So please take a look at it if you haven't already. If you are an FMP, please share with us and let us know your thoughts on it and the value that you feel that it's brought.
We do have some upcoming events that we wanted to share with you so that when you're ready to log in to those, you're going to be ready. So Mastering Sustainability, that will be held on April 18th. And then we're going to discuss the CFM on May 16th. So we're really excited to talk about both of those credentials coming up.
Yeah, and these are upcoming webinars that this group will be doing. You can check out IFMA. Well, You can look on like LinkedIn for our previous webinars. It's also on IFMA's channel on YouTube. So if you want to go back and see what else we've been talking about, it's available there. And I'm really looking forward to sustainability. For those of you who haven't dipped your toes into that sustainability pool, please join us on April 18th, and we'll all see you there. Thanks for joining us. Take care.